Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope everybody is having a great week so far. Today in this video, I wanted to go over a new offer tactic idea I had for lead generation. I'm going to be showing you kind of behind the scenes on how I'm setting this up on Facebook. And we're going to do a little flow chart as to how all the components connect so you can visualize that easily and implement that in your own lead generation based business. And I'm also going to show you the creative that we're running on Facebook right now that's converting at roughly 28%. So it's a pretty strong benchmark. We've ran Facebook before, but 28% is pretty good for our industry, targeting people who are looking for conversion rate optimization, improving their conversion volume, revenue, optimizing their traffic channels, mostly things pertaining to the digital marketing space. It's pretty highly saturated, and as you can imagine, the CPMs are quite high. But with all that being said, we still created a strong offer. It's still converting well, and it's still converting into paying clients. So I want to show you guys on a new idea that I have that I'm going to run as somewhat of a split test. So I'm going to be using ad set spend limits. So a portion of this budget will go towards the new ad, and the other portion of our budget will go towards the existing ad. Without getting too much into detail there, I highly recommend going at your paid marketing as an 80-20 approach, which I've talked about in other videos, but it's critical for you to do an 80-20 approach so that 80% of your marketing spend in dollars and efforts are going towards things that are working, while you spend 10 to 20% on new tactics, new ideas, new ad platforms, new traffic sources, conversion rate optimization, split tests, whatever you're deciding to do or what you need to work on. Spend that 10-20% on. Don't throw everything into one bucket and hope it works, because it rarely does. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in here. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to showing you guys how this all works. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Now diving in here, this is the current ad that we're running. You can see here it's fairly long form in today's standard. I would say most ad copy, at least ran in our space, is pretty short. I would say just a few lines. There's rarely a see more link, unless they're selling a course. Courses tend to have longer ad copy where there's a lot of storytelling. But for what we're trying to target and helping businesses with their conversion rate optimization and volume, long form, when we did our research, we didn't really see a whole lot of long form. That's why I wanted to come from this angle, because the more differentiated your offer and ad can be from what the rest of the market is running, the higher opportunity it's going to have to succeed. And without giving away everything, but I might as well just tell you guys, another thing that we saw during our market research was a lot of our competition wasn't running illustration-based ads. So we decided to create a custom illustration, which I actually have the creative itself right here. It's of C4, which is our robot mascot, and a little chat bubble. So it kind of looks somewhat like a comic. We found that our competitors just weren't running anything like this. So having this offer show up, targeting the same audience that our competitors are, it's different. It stops people scrolling. They haven't seen it before. It piques their interest. So that's why we're able to get close to a 30% conversion rate on this offer and this type of offer by utilizing concepts like that. So going back to my screen share here, the things that we're going to change is this ad. Once someone opts in, we schedule a appointment with them to speak with one of our consultants here, where they go through a free consultation where we cover things like what their main service or product is that's driving the majority of their business's revenue, what's their biggest problem that they're having within their business and marketing, what some potential low-hanging fruit might look like that we could potentially look at, what their current data stack is looking like, their complete funnel data and what that's looking like. So we want to look at things like ad spend, cost per lead or cost per acquisition, landing page conversion rates, things like in terms of frequency and consistency. So we want to measure things like, is your cost per lead consistent month over month, or was there a recent drop that would have indicated maybe something went wrong or broke, or maybe you had a page speed disaster happen? So we gather all these points of data, we figure out really where we can plug in and help, and we give them a conversion rate template. We spend about 8 to 12 hours designing a new conversion optimized page for them to present in a proposal. And as you can imagine, we can't work with everybody because we spend a lot of time on our proposals, but we spend and invest this time because we create this landing page based off this offer, and that's what we deliver for this lead generation flow. So how I'm going to change that is, and I think right now we're getting about 60-70% open rate on our first email, and then it tends to drop off from there. So my plan is to essentially deliver these conversion rate optimization tips over a 2 to 3 email period. And in order to get the tips, you're also going to have to click a button or take a conversion action on the first email. So that's going to not only it's going to help our engagement levels, right? Because someone is going to have to take an action on the first email, which is going to help with our overall numbers of engaged users. 2, they're going to be anxious to open the second and third email because we're not giving them all the tips at once. And 3, it's going to give them more brand familiarity with us when we call to follow up to schedule an appointment. So that's kind of how the flow is going to work. If we look at what the flow is going to come in at, we're going to have Facebook ads. And that is going to, for those of you wondering, this tool is called Lucid Chart. And obviously it goes into the app once you're in kind of the production environment. So they're going to opt in through Facebook ads. After that, they're going to get email number 1 with 10 conversion tips. Based off of that information, they're going to tap get conversion tips CTA. And then from there, they're going to be redirected. And let's make this a new color so we can keep this all neatly organized. Give it a... There we go. Hope this color isn't too atrocious. I know a lot of people don't like orange, but you know, I didn't get to celebrate Halloween this year, so we're gonna use this nice little orange. So once they type or tap get conversion tips, right, and this CTA is going to be dead center in the middle of the email body. Once they tap that, they're going to get basically tagged in Klaviyo. We use Klaviyo for our email management, email automation, email management. So they're going to get tagged in Klaviyo, which is then triggered. And then we're going to trigger email sequence for 10 conversion tips. And actually, now that I'm working through this, and this is why I like this conversion, this is why I like building out flows and some type of visual diagram, because you can always change things around. So the total amount of tips I have here, I actually don't know. So let's count. Let's see, there's 17 there, 16 rather. So there's 27 total tips. So there's 27 total tips. We'll probably end up doing 999. So 9 tips each email. They'll get a total of 3 emails. Trigger email sequence for 27 conversion tips. I like the number 27 as well because it's not a round number. It's not a very common number to use. So it seems very specific and very catered to the user. The user is not going to think that it's some top 10 tips list, which they see all over Google or Yahoo or Bing, whatever search engine they use, right? So coming back here, it's a very specific number. That's why I like it. So we're going to trigger the 27 conversion tips email. And we actually need one more value box here, which we're going to do purple. So they're going to get tagged and triggered. Once that happens, let's see, so they get the email, 27 conversion tips. They have to tap get conversion tip CTA. They get tagged in Klaviyo, trigger email sequence. So email 9, email first 9 conversion tips. And we're going to intro the series and explain. Actually, no, the first email. So this one is actually, it needs to actually intro. So it's going to be the intro to series. We're going to describe upfront what we're doing so someone doesn't opt in to get 27 conversion tips. We don't want them to get pissed off if we only send them 9. So we're going to give them an intro to the series. We're going to explain why we're giving them 9 at a time instead of all 27 up front, which, obviously they're not going to be able to capitalize on all 27 conversion optimization tips. So it just makes sense to kind of break it up and chunk it up. And I'm sure any reasonable person to opt into your list is going to understand that. But make sure that you set expectations up front. So we're going to do intro to series. We're going to do a brief about us. And that about us is going to be like what we do, who we are, and what we care about. 3 quick things. Cool. So we hit them with that one email, right? So they're coming in through Facebook. They get hit with the initial email, which is going to cover the 27 conversion tips. We're going to do an intro, a brief about us, what we do, who we are, what we care about. And then at the very end, it's going to be CTA. CTA is going to be tap to get conversion tips. That's going to trigger a tag in Klaviyo that they've tapped to get conversion tips. From there, we're going to trigger the email sequence for the total 27 conversion tips over 3 days. And then we're going to do email number 1, 9 conversion tips. And there we go. Pretty much it. Then we're going to do email number 2. Email number 2. And we're going to do story. So these are the types of emails that we're going to hit them with. So it's going to be a tip plus subject combination type email. So the first email that we're going to hit them with is 9 conversion tips plus case study. Second email that we're going to hit them with, and just trying to keep this relatively organized. Second email that we're going to hit them with is the 9 conversion tips and then a story. So we're going to tell them a story with that one. And the third, which is going to be our last, and between this case study is going to build social proof, right? And obviously social proof is important. You want someone to be able to perceive the value that you have to give without you having to say it. You're just explaining your process, make it detailed. We have several case studies on our website. We don't go into an immense amount of detail because a lot of it is technical SEO jargon. We just kind of go high level into what we accomplished and how we did it, or what the thought methodology was, or approach, or something like that. Whatever's important to your target audience. And so that's going to develop your social proof. That's going to help kind of set the tone when you do reach out to this person. If you are in B2B and you are doing lead gen, you are doing follow-up, this is going to establish that ground of authority before you speak with someone, so they can see that you're actually a legit business and you're great at what you do. The second email is going to be story driven. So it's going to be something that you've helped solve in their industry. Tell that story, something that someone can relate to. You basically, at this point, you want to be clear that you have something of value to add to their business. And if they were to talk to you, they would then be able to figure out if you two could work together. For example, we talk to a lot of people every day, and we can't work with everyone. We can't help everyone, but the people that we do find that we can help and work with, it's a great pair, and we just wish that we found them sooner. So the only way you're going to be able to do that is by establishing social proof through case studies, telling stories, so you have a relatable experience and conversation with that person before you even speak with them. And the third email that we're going to send with the 9 conversion tips is going to be next steps. So you're going to follow up and essentially declare, share my screen here, sorry about that. The third step here, and let me move this so you can see it. The third step here is essentially going to be the third set of 9 conversion tips and what the next steps are. So what are the best next steps for that person to do with the not only 27 conversion tips, because you don't want to breeze over a great asset like that. You don't want to breeze over good information like that. It's going to devalue your word and authenticity. So make sure everything is cohesive and consistent. Declare what the next steps are. Is it to schedule consultation with your firm? Is it to, try these actions out yourself? Is it to join a Facebook group community? Is it to share something on your social media? Make sure to have a clear set of next steps, or when the person does get to this point and your SDR or whomever it is that's reaching out to your leads is calling this person, they've gone through this entire funnel, have a strong understanding of who you are. They've read 3 or 4 emails from you already. They've seen a case study, so they know what you're capable of. And you have a relatable story to reference while you're on the phone call with them for rapport building. So this is the funnel that we're going to go with. I'm really excited to run it and test it. I'm probably going to go a bit more short form in the copy here, because I'm going to be repurposing several of these items on the checklist as the offer that's going to be sent out in email 1, 2, and 3. We mentioned earlier that there are 27 conversion rate, volume, and optimization suggestions here. So we're going to include that in one of these 3 checkboxes. And yeah, there's a few things, we have some work to do. We got to we got to pick a case study to use. We got to write a story. And then, we have to write the intro email series. But I think this is going to be a pretty strong framework for driving engagement. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how it goes. If you guys are curious and you want to see the results of this in a few weeks, just let me know down in the comments below. Also, I have been having a really good time creating more videos on what we're doing to improve the conversion rates and conversion volume and revenue and optimize traffic sources for our clients. And I'm really enjoying sharing that with you guys. If you want me to create more videos like this, just hit that like button down below, subscribe to our channel. I'd love to have you. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.